All right, good morning. It is Wednesday, July the 15th. Beautiful day here. And just getting ready to head out from the cabin today. I'm going to go to the top at Pikes Peak, and then after that, just kind of freewheel it. I don't know, I may head over to Cripple Creek or do some other trails if I feel like it, because I don't think it's going to take a whole big part of the day to go to the top of Pikes Peak, but it is a gorgeous day. It was nice to get going a little slower this morning. Usually I'm out on the bike by 7:30, but with Pikes Peak and the temperature changes, do not want to go up there when it's still in the 40s. So thought I'd let it warm up just a little bit. So I'm going to head down to Colorado, or to the base, drive to the top, and then like I said, might find some other stuff to do. So looking forward to it. Should be a good day. All right, so I just left the cabin, and if you look over here to my right, there's Pikes Peak. So I will be going to the tippy top of that. I assume I'll be up there in another, I don't know, 2-3 hours. Yeah, I'm going to be going right up there. I sometimes like to look where the zigzags are and where it goes up, because depending on the sun, you can often see reflections off the windshield, so it's kind of cool. It makes the mountain sparkle a little bit. So yeah, so it's already like 60, probably 62 degrees or so, and shaping up to be a beautiful day. All right, so I'm heading up the road to the Pikes Peak Tollway, and here is the North Pole Santa's Workshop. And yeah, I remember one time we came out here, I think it was for one of Grace's volleyball tournaments or something, and we went, it snowed. We took the truck in that parking lot and just did donut after donut. I'm not so sure I didn't teach Grace how to do donuts in there. I don't think Jody was super excited about it, because she's like, why do we have to go on the side of a mountain to learn how to do donuts? Well, because. All right, so just starting the lift, or the drive up. 7,759 is the elevation there at the toll booth. He did ask me if I'd been on the mountain before, and I'm like, I have been on the mountain before. It's been a very long time. And then they asked if you got at least a half a tank of gas. No drones. So looking forward to it. I know that back when we lived out here, going up the Pikes Peak was like one of my favorite things. Like, I remember I could do it. We'd have a field trip. My middle school would do a field trip, and we'd go up here, and that was like the best. Taking multiple chaperones' cars and going up here, and I remember we would do the atmospheric pressure test, where you blow up a balloon at the bottom, and then by the time you got to the top, it was huge. Same, could have just did the Lay's bag potato chip test and do the same thing, but anyway, so that was fun. But, and then like if family or friends would come out to visit us, of course everybody'd want to go up the Pikes Peak, and I loved it, just loved it. So yeah, starting out at about 7,700 feet, and when it's all said and done, we'll be at 14,115 feet. So we'll be going up almost 7,000 feet. Ironically, when I lived out here, this mountain was 14,110 feet. I remember it clearly. We had it printed all over things that we had in the house. And then in the 90s, they did an update, because they had better devices to measure height, and the mountain grew 5 feet. So go figure. So anyway, and when I was out here, it was gravel all the way to the top, and now it's paved all the way to the top. So should be a fun day. All right, well, there's a good view of where we'll end up going. Now we're entering Pike National Forest, but there on the right-hand side of the big mound is where the road goes up, you can see the zigzags, and then the peaks all the way up over here. And apparently we got to look out for Bigfoot. So also it was 77 degrees it said on my motorcycle at the bottom. My watch says it was 70, so I don't know, but it'll be interesting. I can already feel it getting cooler. I had more layers on than I wanted to get here, and it was getting a little toasty, but I'm sure I'll end up having to put a jacket on by the time I get towards the top. So we'll see. Over here to the left is the lake. I would assume that that thing goes way high and way low based on the snow melt. Tell you that this section of road has an amazing smell of pine. Like all of a sudden it just came on strong right here with all these trees. Oh, there's a deer. That deer was here when we lived, to be honest. I don't remember it. But that gift shop over there, I remember that gift shop. That gift shop, we always had to stop. You get hot chocolate, you get candy, but I'll never forget the most amazing thing I ever got there was I bought a jawbreaker. That jawbreaker was the size of my fist. I think I worked on it for a year. It required a hammer and a chisel for me to bust off a piece and suck on it and chew on it. And I'm pretty sure this was not here. That was an epic jawbreaker. Alright, so just crossed 10,000 feet, or 10,300, and just saw this biker. Decided he's going to go all the way up on a bike. So, that's one way to spend your day. I would be more than happy to ride my bike on Pikes Peak, but somebody's bringing my ass to the top, and I'm riding down. And we're starting to get up here and get some good views now if you look out over the valley. Correction to my previous video clip. This is definitely the gift shop I remember. Glen Cove, that's it. Because I remember this little building in the middle. That's where the epic jawbreaker came from. Oh, there's another one of them guys. Alright, now I finally got nobody in front of me. I can make I think it's 30 mile an hour speed limit, but they all slow down to like 10 mile an hour on these corners. So, not that I'm in a hurry, but something fun about going through the corners a little bit faster than, you know, than blah, 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 blah. Get a knee down. Somebody get a burn out there, so. This is where they do the Pikes Peak hill climb, which, I don't know what time those guys do it in, get from the bottom to the top, but it's stupid fast, and, I mean, of course, now that it's all paved, they're more road cars with a tremendous amount of downforce so that they can have traction in the corners and stuff, but I watch that on YouTube every year. That's just fun stuff. Fun stuff. So yeah, there's the tree line. Alright, so now we're up above the tree line, so I think these are the switchbacks. Sit down at this corner. Texas! I gave him a good old hook and horn since he had an A&M shirt on. Yeah, look at that. That is because they put big barrels there. Oh, there comes the switchback. There you got a little snow melt still in the valley. Temperature is down quite a bit. I don't know where these clouds came from. That's going to make it even cooler. I will say that I have noticed the radiant energy from the sun is, when the sun's on you, it feels like 20 degrees warmer here. All right, I'm going to go off so I can get you on the switchback. All right, so here is the infamous switchback. So these are what you can see really from the base of the mountain. It's highly recognizable because it's just carved right on the bare face of the mountain. So this is also one of the funnest parts to see on the Pikes Peak hill climb. I'll hit some of these overhangs and stuff right on the way down. I enjoy the while I'm warm, I'm gonna get to the top, and if I need to do anything from a clothing standpoint, to do that. They don't put a guardrail right there. Yeah, we don't put guardrails everywhere in America. Take care of yourself. They would frown upon me passing. Nice. Well, I can tell you this. Maybe it's in my head, or maybe it's the incline, but it certainly feels like it's got a little less horsepower. This thin air. These are fun. These are fun. And that's pretty well the end of the switchbacks. Alright, if you look up there, you can see the observation platform from the summit, I believe. If you look over here, you can see down into the valley into Colorado Springs and all that. There's that lake, Crystal Lake over there. Now, when we came up here with the kids, I totally remember Tyler had to stand on every rock, stand on every edge. Jody was going to pull her hair out by the end of the Colorado trip because that was still relatively young Tyler, and he kind of was at that phase of jump first and figure out how you're going to land later. We always had to keep him calm down. And one other life story I remember on one of the field trips that we did up here. I mean, we had a little bingo card of things you looked for, and and you know, different flowers and different animals, and, you know, like the elusive bighorn sheep, which we never got to see anything like that. I don't even know if they're up. Oh yeah, Tyler saw one, I think, up here. But one was the marmot, which is like a mountain prairie dog, if you will, gopher. And we saw one in this rock formation here, running from one rock to another. God bless those bikers. I get that. You know, I mean, if you're a big biker, I could see that be a massive sense of accomplishment. I don't know if they do it on the regular, or if this is just a, hey, I can tell my friends I've pedaled my ass all the way to the top. I could get there eventually. I just don't know if it'd be in one day. Holy cow. That's biking. That's one thing. You fall out of shape fast. You have to keep doing it. Alright, if you look over in the distance over there, you can see the mine. I think that's the gold mine for, I drove by yesterday between Victor and Cripple Creek. And it is definitely highly visible from up here. What a gorgeous view up here. Just unbelievable. Look at that. Just phenomenal. It's kind of hard to beat. Final section to the summit. Down and all the way up. And there it is, 14,115 feet. Gonna go ahead and get in one of these motorcycle spots if we can. I think there's one left. Sweet. Alright, here we are at the summit. Took me about 40 minutes to get up here without stopping. And I'm gonna go look around just a little bit before I head down. Alright, so up here at the summit, and if you look out there, you can see Colorado Springs. And then over here we've got the Cog Railway coming up here. I think that's that Crystal Lake down there. And yeah, actually quite calm up here, surprisingly. I figured it'd be windy. Pretty good. Alright, starting my descent. Actually was quite pleasant up there. Felt good. No wind. First. And so now I'm going to make the trek down. I've seen a lot of the overhangs and all that stuff. I'm probably just going to drive straight down. And then I might go do some trails that I was actually planning on doing tomorrow. Which will mean tonight I got to figure out other places to go. But I'm sure I can find plenty to do. So. But interesting, at the top of the mountain I met a guy who's from Mexico City. He was traveling with a guy who's from, oh, there goes the Cog Railway. So that gives you an idea of the incline. I mean, look at the incline that thing goes down. What perfect timing to come down here. anyway, the guy was from Mexico City traveling with a buddy of his from San Antonio, and he is driving from Mexico City to Alaska, over to Nova Scotia, down to Maine, down to Key West, Florida, then back over to Mexico City, and then eventually he said Cancun, I think, somewhere in there too. I don't even know. And it's, I was like, dang. I'm like, that's a trip. And he's like, yeah. He goes, but I'm taking it easy. He goes, because I'm 65 years old. I'm like, that doesn't sound like taking it easy. And he goes, well, I take it easier than I have in the past. He goes, this is the 7th time I've done that trip. I'm like, good Lord, what a deal. So, pretty cool guy to talk to. So yeah, this is an amazing road to drive. And then look at the downward views. I mean, just look at that view, the edge of that. That's just gorgeous. Get my bearings straight so I can figure out where's what. I think the Divide and Florissant are out that way, but I don't know. But anyway, just wanted to I mean, these amazing views as you come around these corners. Actually, I mean, the views are better almost coming down. Oh, Lord have mercy. We've got bighorn sheep. No shit. No shit, on video. Heard of. No, not bighorn sheep, just deer. Man, I thought I had the absolute trifecta. Ladies and gentlemen, progress has come to a halt. Oh, they're going to take a nap right there. Actually, those are bighorn sheep. They're babies. Look at that. That's awesome. Here. Come on. Okay. Yeah, I got that all on video, and yes, I was holding up traffic, and yes, I don't give a shit. That, I have always wanted to see bighorn sheep. I told you on the way up, I said we had a bingo card, and you could see bighorn sheep. And there they were. That's awesome. That is awesome. Sweet. Okay. Well, I'm glad I got it on video and I got a quick picture, even though I pissed off a bunch of people. I tell you, taking a picture on a motorcycle ain't easy. So coming up to this gift shop, I just wanted to check. I can't remember. Did I happen to mention to anybody about the extra large jawbreaker? Just kidding. You know, nothing in the Vermeer household is funny unless you run it into the ground 15 times. So they are doing a brake check up here is what they do. And I will be interested if anybody gets set aside because I could smell brakes. Somebody was definitely riding their brakes. I can guarantee it wasn't me and mine. It's going to be cool as a cucumber. Alright, so I'm here at about 8,000 feet elevation, and for some reason we're stopped. Two cars in either direction, and there's some cyclist, like bicyclist involved. So I don't know what's going on, if somebody tagged a bike or what. But here we sit. And I don't want to be inconsiderate per se, but part of me that wants to go around and find out what's going on, but I probably won't. Maybe I will. Alright, looks like definitely got an injured biker. Okay, I got the story. So it was two bikers coming down. One of the guys said he saw them coming down and they were doing like 40 miles an hour. And the biker wiped out solo. And he's got some pretty good road rash. So I don't know if his brakes had a problem or he was going entirely too fast for conditions. But it was not hit by a car. It was a solo bicycle wreck. All right, so I am on Lower Gold Camp Road, just in the edge of the mountains by Colorado Springs, and this is Bear Creek here running along the road. And if I recall, this is a place that we stopped. We had a couple of lawn chairs, and I think we just stopped and let the kids play in the river last time we were out here. And Tyler was running up and down the river, and Grace, and had t-shirts tied around their heads and craziness. But it was a good time. And I realize now that I'm going down the wrong direction for where I want to go. Bear Creek to Cannon Park. Alright, so this is Lower Gold Camp Road, and pretty cool little road. It's a nice little shelf road that kind of comes up into the mountainside here. Went through a tunnel back there. I didn't have my camera. I was letting it charge. But makes me think again that, I mean, Gold Camp Road, this had to be an old railroad road. So since it eventually leads over to Cripple Creek, this had to have been a railroad they pulled out gold ore and stuff from. So, oh yeah, here's another one. Oh, that's the problem. You can't see shit. So we're gonna give it a go. Yeah. The curve makes it a little difficult. But that is a cool tunnel. Neat road. So I'm going to take this to, I think, another trail. I think it's called Old Stage, and then I'll be on I'll go to Upper Gold Camp Road, which will take me over to Cripple Creek, and that last one's about 20-mile long deal, so that'll be an hour and a half. And then once I get to Cripple Creek, I will head on over to probably head to Divide, because I think there's some storms supposed to be coming in. So there's one way to ride up. So this is the Cannon Falls, I think it is. And so when I said earlier that road that we stopped on was the where the kids played in the creek, I think I had it confused with this one. I think they did it somewhere along here. Silver Falls, that's what that was. Silver Falls. I'll get it straight eventually. Beautiful, and the temperature in here is a lot cooler. One funny thing of note that will definitely not transcribe onto the video is these corners are interesting, because the sun is hot enough that making these tar lines, gooey. So when I go around these corners, every tar line, if I'm leaning over, the tire slips a little bit. Feels kind of, at first I thought, my gosh, why are my tires feeling so funny? But then I realized it's every tar line. In Texas, I should have known better. The same thing happens in Texas all the time. So yeah, Silver Falls come down into this river. Okay, so this is the beginning of Old Stage Road that I'll take for about 5 miles. If you look, there's downtown Colorado Springs right over there. And then it'll take me right into Gold Camp Road. That'll lead me into Cripple Creek. So probably, I would guess, 25 miles or so of gravel to get me over Cripple Creek. Current time 1:22, so that ought to be pretty good. Get me over there, check out the weather once I get back into cell service, and then see what I need to do, if I need to head towards the cabin or find another route. I'm always game to find another route. This looks like a low maintenance road, but highly traveled. I would guess that a lot of Colorado Springs people for fun take this over to Cripple Creek. So yeah, this is my current state of affairs. Alright, so this is Upper Gold Camp Road on the way to Cripple Creek. I think it's about 20 miles long, and that last stagecoach one had some pretty good climbs, and I tell you what, that heavy washboard on a steep incline can be, just feel like you can't get going, can't get any traction, and everything's just shaking like crazy. But we'll see how this road is. Great little road though, great way to get up out of Colorado Springs over to Cripple Creek. Starting to feel a little cooler as we get up here in the elevation. I'm going to take a look. I don't even know what elevation I'm at right now. 9,000 feet. So that's good. Usually it hangs in the 70s when you get that elevation. So it's a good place to be. One heck of a rock right there. It's all solid. There's one up on top. It's all cracked. So I'm going to have to read the Wikipedia on the geological formations around Colorado Springs and Cripple Creek and what the history was. Oh, and by the way, I figured out I always check my traction control down to the lowest setting, but after all this washboard, I just turned it off. I've got no traction control in the rear, and that helps tremendously on these washboards. The old bike's not trying to overthink itself. So, pro tip, that probably the whole world knew. Oh wow, this is nice. Probably built back in the day before they had to do environmental surveys on the impact of them putting a solid land bridge across the creek. But hey, railroad built America. So this road's got a number of these passages where they cut through for the train, but then they curve, and like almost all of them curve, it seems like this, which is quite interesting, because I mean, you're going in not knowing if you're going to come across somebody, but hey, guess it's kind of hard for them not to curve, considering it seems like this road is constantly in a state of curve. So like right now, where I'm at, this is National Forest. That is not right there. There's a little piece that's not. That's one thing I really like about this mapping software. I can see when I'm in national forests and everything. See, here's no curves around. Now this app's helpful. You know when you're in public land, private land. I mean, they try to put up a bunch of signs, but this, you have every idea where you're at. Here comes another tunnel. See if this one's straight or curves. Curves. And I watched my video back on the tunnels yesterday, and I can tell you, in reality, the darkness is way worse than this camera. The camera does a fantastic job on low light. Oh, jeez. They just plowed this. They just graded this. Oh, Lord. And it is just sand. Oh, Lord. Just terrible sand. Oh. Oh, this is going to be a slow go now. The old girl. We've had our talks about this. The old girl don't like sand. It doesn't. I hope that they're just doing a small section because it's like driving on ice. Oh. But hey, don't let the sandy road take your attention away from the beauty. Okay, this feels a little better. I just kick my foot down every once in a while and feel if it's dusty hardpack or sand. Though, once you see that, it takes your confidence away to go at any speed because you just don't know when you're going to be in a situation. I'm going to stop here though. Nobody's here, and take a look. Look at that. How beautiful a valley is that? Wow. Up to the road grader, so if I can get around him, I won't have all this looseness. He ain't even grading right now. Kind of interesting. So I'll be able to get around him up here. Here we go. So when I was up on Pikes Peak, I think I took a video and saw the mine. So this is over by Cripple Creek, which is probably only like 6 miles from. But yeah, I've been driving for, I don't know, 2.5 hours to get over here. And you can just see it plain as day from the top of Pikes Peak. So, I mean, I probably spent 20 minutes at the top of Pikes Peak. You could probably spend a lot longer if you wanted to just go around with binoculars and look at things and whatnot. But my, you can see forever. You stand aspen trees. So this, what is it called? Bull Camp Road. Good road. Good road. Okay, I'm up on top of the observation tower here by the Victor Cripple Creek mining operation, which is cool that they have this here, so you can see just, who knows pretty cool in and of itself. Yeah, and I just came from that direction. See the big trucks doing some dumping over there. Okay, so here is the other side of that mine. It's just massive. God almighty. Just up over there with the other video that I took. Just keeps going and going and going. I'm going to do a little reading on that tonight. I'll be interested in how much it produces. With that much machinery going, it's got to produce a lot. And here, as I come around the corner, you'll see Cripple Creek. I'm coming down from down into the valley. So this is Molly, whatever, Kathleen. Yeah, the Molly Kathleen mine. So, looks like it's shut for some reason, but this is where we've gone down in that mine, if you can believe it. It's kind of cool. You get in this yellow thing right here, and it's like 4 people, and I mean to tell you, you are face to face with each other, and down you go. But it doesn't look like it's running. Maybe it only runs on the weekends. I don't know. Interesting. Alright, so this is coming into Cripple Creek, which, as you can tell, it has a big casino and gaming business going now. Back 40-some years ago, when we lived here, I can tell you this. There was no casino and gaming. There was hardly anything here. It was a massive, like, ghost town. There might have been a couple stores open for tourists. I think the mine was open. You could tour that. But I mean, it was nothing. Literally nothing. Now they've built up all these, renovated some of these buildings. Like that one looks renovated. This one over here is new. That must be another casino. And be interesting to go down Main Street. I mean, these old buildings would have been here, but they just weren't redone or anything. Some of those don't look very great actually either. Interesting. But I don't remember a higher and lower road. I remember that section over there. That's what I remember. But what a cool vibe, huh? Let me check this all out. All these stores. I mean, it's pretty bustling down here now. There, the Brass Ass. I remember that. It wasn't a casino though, it was like the Brass Ass restaurant. You know, when you talk to a camera on a motorcycle by yourself, people look at you funny, but that's alright. Hey, it smells really good, whatever the restaurant is that I smell. I smell Italian. They're all casino and hotels. Just all casinos and hotels. Chamonix. It'd be a good weekend. It'd be a cool weekend place if you wanted to come. If you were into gambling, I mean, you could go see some of the other cool stuff too, but man.